That's yours.
Yeah, there we go.
That's your.
All right.
That's yours.
I get to hear every little crinkle and crackle
Very good.
of your voice and my voice.
Both our voices together.
Yes.
Hey everybody, welcome to Up for Discussion After Dark.
It's light, but only because we have lights on.
Tim, you might want to rotate your mic a little bit.
Oh, yeah?
It's currently
Facing me.
leaning a little.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, there we
Leaning
go.
a
Oh,
little.
you
There we
like
go.
that deep, bassy Tim voice.
It's good.
I was whispering in the ear of a friend today
Were you?
in preparation for this podcast.
Tell me.
They told me that I could sell many things with this voice.
What kind of things do you want to sell?
I would love to sell your blue, blue eyes.
My blue eyes.
Yes, they're very deep.
What other things could you sell?
I could sell this ukulele for only $49.99. You can get a picture of this ukulele sent to you via text message from somebody else who got it from me.
Well,
If you know such people, send your 4 easy payments to patreon.com/masterbus.
good idea. I just realized it's good that we're doing this tonight.
Yeah, why?
I told my friend Eric that I would go to brunch with him on Saturday morning, and I almost forgot.
Oh, snap.
So if we had recorded this Saturday morning, I would have had to bail on him.
You could have eaten brunch on a podcast, though.
Whoa. I mean, I've got a hot chocolate, which is nice.
It's very cozy. How can we make our listeners feel like they're with us in this cozy space? How can do you guys feel the cozy?
Do you guys feel the cones?
Mm.
So this is our April bonus content.
Yeah.
We thought it would be fun to do an episode where you get to just hear us talk real soft.
Real sensual.
Real soft. Real soft.
Were you going to say sauce there?
I was going to say soft again, but I made myself giggle.
Real sauce.
Real sauce. Real buns.
Real fish.
Real fish fillet.
Reel to reel.
Guys,
Recording tape.
if you're a patron over at patreon.com/upfordiscussion, you get to hear bonus content 2 weeks early.
Yes, that's true. That's what you who are listening to this right now, that's probably you. The other people will listen to it later. But
Much
for them,
later.
it'll be now. That's called a paradox.
A paradigm even.
A pair of shoes.
And if you want a parachute that'll save your life from going down in shambles, you go to patreon.com and pledge as little as $5, and you'll get to hear us talk about whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
And guys, we just passed a new level,
We did.
a new patron level, and now we're getting enough money that we're gonna do video sometimes.
So that's why you can see us on video, on this video.
If you're watching this as a video, if you're listening to it as audio, that's also fun.
But if you're watching this as video, then
You know
bravo,
that
you're
this is a
also
video.
a patron. Where are these videos going to be hosted?
They're going to be on YouTube. They're going to be unlisted for the first 2 weeks, and then I'm going to make them public.
They're going to be on youtube.com/tomzalatnai.
That's what I'm thinking. I might put them on the Up for Discussion one. I haven't decided yet.
I didn't know we had an Up for Discussion one.
I mean, we have an Up for Discussion Google,
Oh, true.
which, yeah.
Yeah, we could start it off like a real thing.
Yeah, maybe I'll do that.
I guess you'll
Yeah.
know. You watching this.
You will.
You're doing that. You did a nice scratchy throat ASMR thing right there.
You.
Yeah, down there in the glottal fry.
You guys.
Yeah.
Our $40 perk tier has been taken.
Yeah, someone has named the bear Kendallin.
Kendallin decided to pledge $40 to name the bear the Great Brown Dragon of the North.
I think it was the mighty great brown
The
dragon.
mighty brown dragon. I wrote it on the chalkboard.
I can see the word mighty from here.
You can see mighty because I can only see Agon of the North.
Okay, we're going to presume that it's the mighty brown dragon of the north.
So, Kendallin, thanks for that. I'd also like to thank Candace for increasing her pledge today as well. Maybe we'll have a fun, longer episode to celebrate soon.
Candace enjoys certain types of conversations.
She likes when we talk about poo and things. So
tonsil stones.
we might soon.
We may do that, yes. So, Tom, what do you do to get ready for bed?
Well, I brush my teeth because it's important to have good oral hygiene when you go to bed at night. I have my phone set to, it goes into nighttime mode at 10 p.m.
That's the one where it just gets real yellow.
It gets it turns into Whiplash. You seen that movie, Whiplash?
I have not seen that movie, Whiplash.
Damien Chazelle's masterpiece film, Whiplash.
That was not a pleasant experience for anybody.
What do you mean? Elaborate on that.
I mean, the film, it wasn't very, I haven't seen it, but I imagine that Tom is correct in saying that this film may have been a better film if it were not made. Yeah.
Yeah. So after 10 p.m., I set my phone to yellow mode, and then at 10:30 I have it switch into Do Not Disturb. Do Not Disturb is the little moon button, and when you have the Do Not Disturb on, it means that nobody can text you. And if they text you, it doesn't bother you and wake you up in the night.
You know, I was going to say that this episode was going to be really great for one of my bedtime routines, which is that I will put on earphones and listen to a podcast to fall asleep.
Tell me about that.
That is not a thing that you should do with this episode.
Probably not.
But if you did, it's too late for me to tell you that.
Tim, what do you do as a bedtime ritual?
Well, I crack my jaw.
Let's hear.
Hold on. There we go.
Gross.
And then I sometimes brush my teeth.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes I let little monsters run around in my mouth. Just they enjoy it. They get to spend 8 hours just being there.
Just being?
Yeah, you don't want to kill the monsters.
Do you ever sleep for only 8 hours?
I often sleep for only 8 hours.
That's hard.
I just sleep at different 8 hours than many people do.
I haven't gotten a full 8 hours in a while. I haven't gotten a full 8, you know? I haven't gotten a full 8.
I spent all week in Vancouver last week, and there goes a guitar fell down behind the camera. It's okay. It was in a case. It will not be hurt. I didn't get an 8 hours of sleep at any point while I was in Vancouver.
It was still rude for that guitar to fall down.
It was rude of you to push it.
With my words?
With your thoughts.
So, you were in Vancouver?
Yeah, I didn't get 8 hours. I got like 6 hours every night, and I survived. But I was... I think I can survive indefinitely on 6 hours of sleep, but the trade-off is that for the first 2 hours of being awake, I am not able to think. So I'm not sure if it actually is better, because those first 2 hours, maybe I could do some things. There are many things I cannot do.
What do you usually do for those first 2 hours?
Well,
how do you start your first 2 hours? Do you lie in bed or do you get up?
In Vancouver, I tended to be on buses, so that was fine. It's fine that I couldn't think, except I did miss buses quite a bit.
You missed. Did you miss them in like the the sense that you longed for them, or did you miss them like you were late for them and they passed you by?
The second one first, and then the first one second.
Okay.
But the generally, I'm a fairly lion dude when it comes to my wake up routine. I wake
get up and you roar.
No, I get up and I lounge.
You lounge.
I scroll through the various digital palisades, and then I answer emails, and then I watch YouTube videos, and then at some point I am hungry or I really need to pee, and then I get up and begin my day.
I get that. My morning usually I'll usually have like an hour's worth of alarms.
Yes, I noticed.
And then I'll when the first one goes off, I'll usually try to turn off a bunch of them. But I miss a couple because I'm real sleepy. So I miss a couple on the way.
Oh, that's why they're sporadic some of the time.
Yeah. But then I always intentionally leave like one or two an hour later so that I can make sure that I'm up like an hour later at the latest.
I see.
Because otherwise I don't wake up.
Do you often succeed at getting up on the first alarms?
Yeah. Maybe 40.
40 alarms.
40, maybe like 40 of the time.
40 hours of the time.
Maybe like 40%.
Tomzalatnai in 40. I mean, you are 40.
I'm 40. The audience hasn't seen our faces in the context of this podcast ever.
Not
before now.
Until right now. And even now we're half hidden by pop filters and headphones.
And circumstance. Pop filters and circumstance.
Yeah. Pop.
So they've never seen me like this. They don't know that I'm 40 at nighttime.
Well, you're 4D as opposed to 3D because you exist in time.
Is that true?
Yeah, like you're a 3-dimensional entity, but you extend through the time of your life, which makes you a 4-dimensional entity. Just kind of fun to think about.
I guess that's true, yeah.
Except you're only conscious of one snapshot of time at a time.
Right.
So it's not a great way to be 4D. There are better ways you could potentially be 4D.
I guess that's true. But yeah, sleep is good. If you're listening to this at nighttime, I'm really sorry about this. I'm really sorry if you're listening in the night.
Tom enjoys being kind of obnoxious about volume control. So,
would you say that?
We don't want to cause any problems.
We don't want to.
We might have to put a disclaimer on this podcast.
That's okay. They'll see that it's got pictures, so they'll. Yeah.
Like if we cause can someone sue us if we just gave them hearing loss?
Probably not.
Yeah, I guess not. We didn't. Did you ever fall for any of those?
Scream?
Yeah, sort of. Or those things where like, it was more prevalent in the old days of like flash tunes and stuff, where people would have a video that seemed very innocuous, but it was like the quietest volume ever, and you just thought there was something wrong with it, and so you'd turn up the volume, and then all of a sudden, yeah, someone would yell or scream or whatever. It was good times.
I do remember those.
There was one that I watched. I think I was 12, and all of a sudden my speakers started screaming about gay porn to the entire house.
Whoa.
The internet was a strange place.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
You ever watched gay porn?
Nope.
Not even by accident?
No.
Huh.
Have you?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Is it different?
Not in a long time.
Hmm.
I haven't watched porn since I was 16.
Hmm.
I've looked at images that made me go, ooh, but I haven't really watched like actual porn.
I guess that's the funny thing about porn. There's that famous definition of it, right? What was it? They were trying to define porn in the U.S. court system, and the best a judge could come up with was, "I know it when I see it."
Really?
Yeah. Because it's like, well, what is the actual definition? How do you differentiate it from, art film?
Yeah.
It's not easy, but you know it when you see it.
I know it when I see it. For me, it's like it becomes porn when. Why did my volume sound really loud for a second there?
I was putting things on the table.
It becomes porn. There's a point over here where I feel like it.
It becomes porn over here, but not over here.
Yeah, it becomes porn for me. Not porn for me specifically.
When someone particularly sends it to you with a special note saying, "We thought of you when we made this."
With gift wrap from Amazon.
Gift wrap.
It's when they wrap your paper in images of a guy jiggling at a cat.
Never forget to wrap your paper, tomzalatnai.
Never forget to wrap when you're making a porn, it's law. Porn's law. But no, for me, the difference between porn and just like an image that is sexy or whatever.
Right.
Is like, I feel like porn has to be people engaging in sex.
Huh.
Like I wouldn't say that like a swimsuit magazine is porn.
Right.
I would say that I would maybe agree that it's like erotic.
Right.
But I wouldn't call it pornography.
But people, you wouldn't consider like Playboy to be pornography?
Huh. I don't know.
I think it's in the eye of the beholder.
I think they've got to be naked
for
it to be porn.
I think I would agree on that.
There's that.
But you don't have to. There's another definition because people can be naked and it's not porn.
Sure. I think then it's intention, right?
Yeah, I guess it's the old question about in literary criticism of whether the author's intention matters or whether it's the reader's perception that matters. So,
right.
Is it that the person making it had to state that it was, or is it that the person who received it as such?
Right. I think so. I would say that it is the intention of the creator because the person who creates it intentionally makes it porn or not, right? But when I was 6, I masturbated to Sailor Moon.
Right.
And I know that was not intended to be porn.
Well, probably by most of the artists.
Most of the artists anyway. So like the fact that you could theoretically jerk off to like Frog and Toad,
or Clouds,
if that's your thing,
or whatever. Yeah.
That's the first thing I went to.
Frog and Toad.
Frog and Toad. What's that called? I don't know what
Frog and Toad is.
You don't remember Frog and Toad?
No, it's not a thing that's part of my cultural experience.
What was that called? Was it just called Frog and Toad?
Frog and Toad?
I don't remember.
Haagen-Dazs?
If you're sexually attracted to
Haagen-Dazs,
let
us know in the comments.
But that's what I mean, right? Like maybe there's a Haagen-Dazs ad that's meant to be a little bit like suggestive so that you'll buy ice cream.
Yeah.
But they didn't make that so you'd jack off to it.
Yeah.
They made it so that you would buy ice cream. So if you jack off to that, it's not porn. You're just using it that way, right? So
I don't know. I suppose that I could see the argument that it was if you decided it was.
It might be that it becomes your porn, but it's not by definition porn, right?
Okay.
So
we're getting into the ideas of universal truths here.
yeah. So when I say I haven't looked at porn since I was 16, I mean I haven't looked at anything that was intended to be porn since I was 16.
But it's pretty hard to not look at anything that could conceivably be considered to be porn by somebody.
Well, Instagram's a fun place.
Yes.
What do you guys think is or isn't porn? What do you use on Instagrams for? When's your birthday? Let us know in the comments.
This podcast took a turn. It's a nice bedtime conversation.
I mean, you asked me what I do before bed. Well, guys, we're gonna wrap up.
It's the law.
So if you enjoyed this, consider pledging to Up for Discussion. You can get bonus content 2 weeks early. You can also get lots of their cool perks.
Yes.
And guys, from now on, we're going to be filming some of our episodes. Not in full. We'll probably film like 20 minutes to half an hour of each one.
Like the way we used to do Periscope, but then Periscope was boring, so we didn't.
That's it. We'll probably just let the camera roll as long as it wants to.
Let it roll, lassie, roll.
And then I'll edit that down to something. And we're only going to do that on episodes that don't have guests, so that we don't have to impose that on our guests.
That's a good call.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that.
And it's less editing.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have a full-time job.
Mm-hmm.
And I also have an editing job.
But yeah, thanks for stopping by. Thank you all you patrons who get to see this now. When you see it. It's been really great.
It's been really good.
Being part of your lives.
And if you're listening to this on the RSS feed, stay tuned, because after this ad break, there's going to be a second half of this. That's a half hour of me explaining what's in her kitchen.
Oh yeah, you did that. I forgot about that. You're still releasing that? I thought we were replacing that with this.
I'm going to tack that onto the end of this.
Oh boy.
So that this will be a full hour instead of whatever this is.
See if anyone makes it.
But only this part's in the video.
So. Comment on something if you actually listened to the entire thing of this.
Guys, let us know in the comments if you paid attention to the entirety of this episode.
Yeah, it would be really good if you could do that.
Yeah.
It would be quite phenomenal.
It would be really nice.
Yeah. Well, anyways, have a good day, guys. Bye-bye.
Good night. Sleep tight.